Okay, welcome back. I think this is the last video of this really. This one is going to be doing kind of what we did for Proxpy. We're going to do it for a local Docker registry. There's going to be a few gotchas in this one, but the main reason is to speed up your builds, but mostly it's to negate some of the problems with rate limiting on Docker Hub. If you're pulling Docker images from multiple locations, you're going to have to run multiple copies of this, but this will show you at least a basic example. So we're just going to dive right in. We're going to go to our compose file, and we're going to paste the configuration we're just going to call it registry. Same thing, profile, registry. We're just going to call registry. Hostname is registry. There's the network. We're going to have a config.yaml and a data directory and registry, and we're going to publish on port 5000, and there's our restart policy. So let's go to registry, touch config.yaml, and think data config.yaml. Okay. And what we're going to put in this file, I'll paste it up here, is this. Now the funny thing is you can actually just run registry by itself, and this file will already be here, so you can go fetch it. But because I'm adding this little bit here for a proxy remote URL, this basically says that it's going to run registry, and it's proxying the traffic from registry1 docker.io. So if you're going to be proxying also something like a GHCR for GitHub container registry, or GCR for Google's container registry, you have to run a separate service for all these because they don't support multiple proxies. At least currently they don't. So that's really all we have to do here. And then once you have that config file, all we need to do is, Docker compose profile registry up -d, and it's done. I mean, it's not a lot to it. And we can see it's listening, and it's configured as a proxy cache for registry. Now, the way we've set this up, though, there's something we have to take into account here. We haven't been running any Docker in Docker type setups. So what we've been doing for like our actions runner and all these things is we basically been bind mounting our Docker socket on the host. So really what's happening is we've tunneled that connection from our containers back to the host. So theoretically, or I guess in practice, when one of these sandboxes pulls an image, it's not pulling it and going away. It's pulling it on the host, and then it's tapping into the host to pull those images. So we kind of have some caching already going on. Be that as it may, though, I'm still going to show you this because it's kind of nice. So, but because of that, even if we tell it to do this, we have to configure the Docker daemon on the host to use this registry service. But we also don't want to break our Docker daemon when it's not running. So, I mean, this will kind of make more sense. What we need to do is we need to go to etc docker on our host, and I don't have a daemon config file, so we're going to touch daemon.json. Okay. And we're here. So what we're going to do, we're going to configure our Docker daemon. So our Docker that's running on our host is going to look first at our localhost port 5000, which is our registry mirror. And we're not making it SSL, so we have to also tell it's an insecure registry until that it's okay. And the nice thing is if it doesn't find it here, it's just going to go straight to Docker Hub anyways. And like I said, you can actually configure more than one registry, so you could put one on port 5001, and you could do another insecure registry, and so you could keep doing that. And then in the second one, you could have it proxy to a ghcr.io, which is GitHub container registry, and then you could list them in order, and it would step down in order. The only thing you have to understand is that if you call a container by its host name, so ghcr.io/whatever, it's going to bypass your proxy. You have to actually either put nothing for a host name in there like you would for a normal Docker Hub image, or put localhost port whatever if you know which registry you want to go to. So, anyways, that said, to get this, we have to. We got a lot of containers running right now. The thing I'm gonna do actually is make life a little easier on me. I'm gonna stop my coder workspace if it's still running, which it is. So I don't have an orphaned container. I'm going to bounce the service, which is going to kill all of these. I don't think reload actually works. I think you have to actually restart it. So you can take your whole environment down if you want to, and you can bring it back up. Because at this point, we hit the full every component. So in fact, that's probably not a bad idea. So let's go back there. So Docker compose down profile full. Actually, sorry, not like that. Docker compose profile full down. And you'll see it'll actually tear down our entire environment for us, which is kind of nice. Now we should be able to, and it's cool, you can actually Docker PS, there's nothing there. So let's do sudo systemctl restart Docker. That's the nice thing is it doesn't actually hurt anything. So now let's do Docker compose profile full up -d, and we can see it's actually going to bring up our entire whole infrastructure, which is pretty cool. It's waiting on git t, and then there's the dependencies, and everything's going to be stood up. So we've got registry, we've got everything going, and logs-f registry, and we can see it's still working. So what's kind of cool here, we can do Docker image ls pipe grep for hello. Okay, yeah, Docker image rm world. Okay, so I killed that one off. This is what I want to kind of see here. If I go to registry and data, I see there's nothing in there, right? Now, if I were to do a Docker pull hello world, it's actually gonna see it got it pretty quick. But what we should see here, if I did it right, see actually you can see we got a lot of stuff going on in here. What we did is it got a request and it asked for hello world, and it's going to then proxy it all the way through and pull it from Docker Hub, and so on and so forth, all the way down here. You see it actually pulled from v2 library hello world, pulled the blob. So if I go to registry now and data, now so on and so forth, and there's hello world. So actually it did a pull through for us. So now when you go to do any of your git t actions or any of this other stuff, really, you could send it to localhost port 5000 and it will actually pull through there. So that way it will always proxy and cache all your stuff through your local system. That way, you don't have to worry about ever hitting any rate limiting problems. It'll always check your local registry first before it ever attempts to go to Docker Hub, and then you shouldn't hit any problems with rate limiting. So it's just pretty nice. And like I said, if you pull a lot from GitHub registry and you want to do the same thing, you're certainly welcome to stand up another copy of this, change the config file to use the remote URL for GitHub's registry, and it will do the same thing. So I think at this point, that's everything I wanted to share for, like I said, my peers and my colleagues that asked for this. I know this was a lot of content, but I mean, we got a lot of stuff going. So to kind of recap, I think we have our source code management, we have remote code development, and like I said, I'll do another video if you want how I set up my VS Code for my extensions. and how I get my if I'm going to use like an AI coding assistant. I don't really care for them, but I use Codium. It's free the way I use it, and there's some caveats if you're going to use it through Chrome. You got to set some Chrome flags to get it to work right if you're not going to use SSL certs. But I can go over that another time. So we've got remote development, sandbox development environments. We've got gists. We've got static code analysis. I think is that most of our endpoints that we've got. We have CI/CD. Uh, yeah, we got the dependency management through Renovate Bot, all kinds of stuff. And the cool thing about it is that if you're done for the day and you want to be done, all you got to do is Docker compose profile full down, and it'll tear down the entirety of your environment, and nothing's going on now. I mean, it's that simple to tear down your whole environment and then stand up a full-fledged, ready to rock and roll development environment with all the bells and whistles to really enable all of your development that you want to do. And it's completely free, which I really like. And I don't have to give very much of my data, at least, to some of these bigger companies. I get to retain all of my personal data. So take this for what it is, without any warranties or whatnot. Tweak and tune and hack on it as you will. Um, yeah, and so hopefully everybody found this useful or helpful. And thanks for watching this whole long series. Take care. Bye bye now.